Or if you're posting consistently but still not growing, then this video is for you. Now, after over 9 years on YouTube, I can confidently say that there are things that I will do differently if I were just starting or even trying to grow. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 proven strategies that will give you clarity, help you grow faster, and make sure that your content actually connects. And some of these tips have helped shape my journey here as a creator. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. So now, if I was starting off as a creator now in 2025, 2026, the first thing I would do, honestly, is to just press play or press record. Basically, start before you are even ready. The truth of the matter is you can't win a game that you haven't even started playing. Same thing as you can't fix a puzzle if you've not tried putting the pieces together. Something amazing I've come to realize after over 9 years of being a creator is that there is so much power behind just pressing play. Now, what that means is that mentally you have defeated any imposter syndrome that you might be having, any cause for you to always be perfect or to get it right at the first try. And I feel like the biggest hurdle with creatives, with entrepreneurs, is not with the resources that are available, is with the mental. Or it's the over planning, the thought that we are not ready yet, the thought that we have a long way to go, we have a lot of things to put in place, we have a lot of things to set up. And something I wish I had done earlier on was to hit the record button a lot earlier than I anticipated, because I feel like most of us come on this creator journey, and when we start is not actually when we intended to start. Let me know that in the comment section if you are someone who's guilty. But a lot of times we start maybe 5 years after we initially wanted to start, because we thought we had to have everything right. We thought we had to have everything sorted out. Now, personally, I started off my YouTube channel in 2016, and I had this idea to start it off back in 2012. And that is a 4-year gap. There's a lot that could have happened in terms of the trajectory of my channel. Yeah, this creator journey is an improvement on the good job. You will get better as soon as you get started, but you cannot even get better if there's nothing to start off with. So all I'm gonna say is the first and the most important thing is to just press play. Okay, so the next tip I'm gonna share is you want to decide on who you want to talk to. I say this because I'm trying to oversimplify the whole niching concept, the whole segmentation, target marketing, all of that, and just make it plain and understandable. Before you even start, while you've started, while you're at it, you need to decide, like, who do I want to talk to? Who are going to be my friends, my community? Like, that would now dictate the kind of language you're going to use, the kind of branding you're going to use, the kind of, content you're going to be creating, the kind of setup you're going to have. That for me is the backbone of any successful channel, is understanding who is listening behind the screen, right? So the first thing you need to do before you even start over complicating it and start using big terms like niching, segmentation, all of that, it's just dial it down a bit and think and picture the person that you want to talk to. And it could be just one person, and that one person can represent millions of people. Having that understanding will help you break down and dissect your content and the way you deliver your content, right? So if you're talking to beginners, for instance, the way you talk to beginners is going to be different from the way you talk to experts, right? The language you use, how you simplify it, right? The person that you are communicating with makes a whole world of difference when it comes to growing and running a successful business channel, platform, online and in person as well. And it's something that I want to add on, because no one talks about this, is that person that you're talking to cannot be put in a box forever, right? That person will change, will grow, will evolve. So you need to understand the genesis and the evolution of your audience, of the person you're talking to. Niching, amazing, beautiful. It helps with, targeting. It helps with clarity. But at the end of the day, it is beyond that. So the third point I'm going to add is to tell stories, document the journey, and have goals. The stories talk about your past, the journey shows the process and the present, and the goals, obviously, the future. By doing that, you're creating a trail, you're creating like a guide, and you're also creating a social proof, because people can see where you started, where you're at, and then the goal and how far you've come and the journey so far. Right? I've learned to understand that you as a creator, you're not the product. The process, the product. The journey is a product. And for every journey, every process, obviously you're dishing out content. So it is ongoing. It is repetitive sometimes, but it is growing. It is growth, right? This helps in connecting with the audience a lot faster because now your content is not just being objectified. It's not just objective. Now there is a subject that has been attached to it. So it's more relatable, it's more connectable. It now makes sense to people who are listening. Like me personally, I share a lot of tips on growing on YouTube and creation and content production, all of that. And in every video, I make reference to my past, how I started the journey. If you guys are watching, if you follow me, you probably know the story. But I try to include it so that anyone who is starting off understand where I started off from, where I am, and where I'm going. Because this is my journey, right? The goal is still there. But now I have a story that I've told on here, which is my past. So you can go through my content to see all that, how the journey started, and now where we are right now. So yeah, that's something I'm definitely gonna say. Create that trail for your audience and your community to follow. Okay. So the fourth tip I'm gonna share is to have a content cook up. And what I mean by that is I want you to just imagine your favorite meal. Just picture it. Now, you're not gonna just eat that food raw like that. No. You're gonna season it properly. Probably even let it marinate overnight before you cook it, right? And you're gonna add a lot of spices to it. So that way, when you eat it, you taste it, you feel it, like it's memorable. That's something you want to do with your content, right? However you want to cook it, that's on you, that's on your creativity. But you always want to make sure that people can feel it, possibly even taste it, but most importantly, act on it. You can add a little bit of sound effect, a little bit of audio, music, effect, zoom in, zoom out, transition, however you want to cook your content, right? Because when you eat a bland food, I can guarantee that you're only going to have like one spoon. You're not going to have another spoon. And then that is it, right? You move on to the next. Same thing with your content, right? You don't want to have people watch for 1 second, 2 seconds, and they've moved on. No, you want to make sure that you have seasoned that content. You've cooked it up so good that when they start eating it up, they finish the whole thing from the beginning to the end and they have nothing left on the plate. All of that. Be very intentional with how you layer it, with the spices you're adding. God, I love food a little bit. But the spices you're adding to make it really unforgettable. If you're watching this right now, let me know down in the comment section what your favorite meal is, because the way I'm talking about this cooking and food, yeah, it's doing something to me. It's making me hungry. So my next tip for anyone who is thinking of starting off growing is to build a creator system. Every successful organization, business, brand has a system, has a way of operation. Now, the best creators have systems for content planning, for filming, for batch filming, for editing, for scheduling, for optimization. So create systems that works for you, for your content, for your community. Use AI, leverage softwares, leverage platforms that help with this process right now in 2025. Like, content creation is the easiest right now because, guys, there are tons of softwares to help with creating videos, with editing videos, with optimizing your content, posting. Like, it is so wild. So create systems that help with this process and think of this as a business and create the systems that actually work in order for you to succeed. Even when you think you found the perfect system, the perfect process to help with like being consistent, posting, getting ideas, all of that, always look for ways to improve and make it better. I'm moving my hands a lot, but always look for ways to improve and make it better. That's something I'm going to say. Don't just wing it and hope that, okay, I'm going to throw this in and then see if it kind of works from the distance or from the sideline, or like, no. Stand firm, create a firm foundation, and then use that to accelerate and grow. And the good thing about creating systems is that it makes the process predictable. It makes it actionable. So having this system put in place just makes the whole process for me a lot easier. Like, when I say systems, like, it could be as little as like your light setup, your camera setup, things that will help in making the process from start to finish a lot seamless and predictable and easier. makes so much sense. So think about that, create systems and stick to it if it works. And also upgrade if you can. And the cool thing about building systems is that it also gives you a little bit of motivation, because now you have a direction, you know what to do and when to do it. So yeah, that's something I'm going to say. Another tip that I would share for any creator is to monetize early and monetize smart. And I'm saying this because I feel like a lot of people, when they start off YouTube, they think that they have to rely solely on YouTube AdSense, which makes sense but doesn't make sense in the long run. You always want to think of what value you have to offer, and then think of how you're going to package that value. Are you going to package it as a product or as a service? What skills do you have? What knowledge do you have? What expertise do you have? And how can you use all of that or some of that to help people, to provide value to the person you're talking to, right? Or the people you're talking to. You also want to make sure that you have a structure to ensure that it is profitable. Okay, so the last tip I'm going to share is to track what matters. Views are great, but retention and conversion matters more, right? So if you're having a lot of views, but then you have low retention and no conversion, it means that you're doing something right, but you're doing a lot of things wrong. And it's so important to find a balance between these two, because now you've gotten people in, but you're not keeping them and converting them and making them loyal. It could mean a lot of things. It could mean that your video quality sucks. It could mean that the thumbnail, the title was a bit clickbaity. It could mean that the content you created doesn't deliver on the value that was promised. And this is where understanding and tracking what matters actually comes in play, because now you have to figure out where that gap is, where that loophole is, what you're doing wrong. Because if you're doing that consistently across multiple content, it means that you're going to be wasting your effort and not getting any results in the long run, right? And the goal is to be successful, to create this beautiful, successful brand that is sustainable, right? So it's okay to get it wrong the first couple of times, but it's so important to track it and understand it and analyze it and focus on what really matters in the long run, right? You can't be growing in one part and not be growing in the other part. Like, there should be some sort of synergy. Yeah, I hope this video was informative. I've been on here for over 9 years right now, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing. But each time I find I have something insightful and something amazing to share, I'm always eager to kind of hop on here and share that with you guys. So if you're just starting off now in 2025, it means that you're starting off with a lot of resources and a lot more opportunities that we probably had back then. So it's time to maximize on it and hone on it and really use it to your own advantage and start off the right way, right? And grow better and faster. So yeah, it's time to gain clarity. It's time to grow faster. And it's time to create content that actually connects. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Till then, bye and stay creating. Bye guys.